Good evening. My name is Charleston S. Bell, and I'm president of BioNanovations Corporation. And I'm here today to tell you about our new novel technology that has the ability to diagnose bacterial infections in under 30 minutes and also gives us the ability to monitor the course of a patient's infection in real time. Bacterial infections kill more people than AIDS, breast cancer, and automobile accidents combined. In fact, over 271 people die every day from staph infections alone. Now, these statistics become very personal to me because a close friend of mine is actually suffering from a staph infection while I speak to you today. But these problems extend to the hospital. There are actually over 1.7 million hospital-acquired infections that occur in the United States alone every year. And the costs from these infections total an over $40 billion financial burden to the United States economy. But wait, it gets worse. There are actually some acute strains of bacteria that upon infection can take your life or your limb through amputation in under 48 hours. However, conventional diagnostic methods take 4 to 5 days. This is a serious time disparity and a serious healthcare problem because you could die before knowing the bacterial infection that is plaguing you. But I'm proud to say here today that we here at BioNanovations has the solution, and it is called Test Quick technology. And it works simply. Basically, you'll have some sort of infection, and you'll go to your healthcare provider. And just like they do today, they'll see that you have a moderate to severe infection. Now, based on that, they will then take a fluid sample, either blood, mucus, or other sorts of sputum, anywhere where the infection is taking place. They will take this sample, and instead of going through the conventional route, they will place it into our Test Quick cassettes. And it looks something like this. So, for instance, blood is dripped into our cassettes containing our novel BioNanotechnology. And these nanoparticles then aggregate around the species and strain-specific bacterial proteins. Now, the aggregation of these nanoparticles is detected by our portable handheld reader. And upon placing the cassette into the handheld reader, you know if the patient is positive or negative for said infection, but then you also know the level of bacterial infection. Now, our technology has a number of different advantages. First, it's portable. These tests can be done at the point of care. 2, it's easy to use. It doesn't need extensive training or expertise to actually utilize the diagnostic. Even further, it's species and strain specific so that the doctor can then make the appropriate diagnostic and then prescribe the appropriate antibiotic the first time instead of using broad spectrum antibiotics like they do today. Fourth, our technology is quantitative. So you know the level of bacterial infection at that time point. And then over a course of different time points, you're then able to monitor the course of infection in real time. And 5, all of these things can be done in a diagnostic time that's under 30 minutes. Now, you may have heard of our lead competitor, and they're called Nanosphere Incorporated. And they have a technology called Verigene, which is very close to our technology. It's species and strain specific. They have cassettes selling at $75 each and a tabletop reader at $100,000 each. But they just received FDA clearance this June. And in under 3 months, they have already obtained 200 institutions who have submitted purchase orders for their technology. Now, they claim that they have a 3-hour test. However, their test is 3 hours post-culture. It depends on the diagnosis being done on the bacterial cell culture isolates. They actually need the bacteria cell and the nucleic acids inside in order to perform the diagnosis. But again, I'm happy to tell you all that BioNanovations Test Quick technology is the only strain-specific pre-culture diagnostic technology, truly at the point of care, we can give patients the diagnostics they need to save their life and their limbs. So how are we going to get this technology to the market? First, we're going to target through direct sales the C-level and C-suite hospital executives. Why? Because they see the full vision and the full scope of the problem we are trying to solve. They can see the cost benefits and the benefits that it brings to their patients. And we will reach these executives using the following methods of increasing market awareness. First, we will go to hospital associations because, after all, that's where C-level people hang out. Then, we will go and garner earned media to get our message out to the populace. And then, we will take our data from our product development and our data from the required pilot study, and we will publish it in high-impact, peer-reviewed publications, because these publications are monitored by the expertise, the clinicians, and the C-suite executives that are looking for the new novel technologies that can help their patients. And next, we will reach out to what we call beacon hospitals. So our plan is to start here in Memphis, move out to Nashville, and expand throughout Tennessee. But in order to target those regional markets, we need to go to these beacon hospitals, who are the innovative hospitals, the early adoptive hospitals, who are out in the regional markets, let's just say Little Rock, Arkansas, or Research Triangle Park, or even Atlanta, Georgia. We will reach out to these beacon hospitals, and through a hybrid sales team, we will then spread the evangelistic message of our disruptive technology from these beacon hospitals and into those regional markets. Now, a quick point about pricing. We will price our handheld reader at $1,000 each, and we will sell the cassettes at $100 per test. And we will, of course, sell the cassettes in higher volume. Now, the important thing to note about this, there's two things. The first is that if you purchase the reader and a pack of cassettes, then our technology is 2 orders of magnitude less expensive than the technology that's currently available. Even further, if we use our technology to allow the appropriate diagnostic, the delivery of the appropriate antibiotic, and then monitoring over a period of time, we could effectively shorten the length of stay of a patient in the hospital. And every day a patient stays in the hospital is $1,800 cost to that hospital entity, all unreimbursed because they're hospital-acquired infections. So if that institution were to buy TestQuick, saying the reader and 7 cassettes for 7 days of monitoring, TestQuick would effectively pay for itself upon its first use on the first patient at that hospital institution. Now let's take a look at the revenue that we can obtain. First, in the Staph aureus market only, because that is what our first product will target, Staph aureus. If we were able to garner 60 hospitals at 1 reader per hospital at $1,000, those 83 Staph aureus hospital-acquired infections, and then $100 per cassette in 7 days of monitoring, we will earn $3.6 million per year in revenue for just those 60 hospitals. But let me remind you, there are 6,000 hospitals in the United States alone. And if we use these same metrics and expand to include all of the acute hospital-acquired infections, we have an $11 billion market. And this does not include the urgent care centers that are becoming the first line of defense for patients seeking medical aid before going to the hospital, nor does this include those international markets. Now, this is the team that's making this happen. I'm Charleston S. Bell, President and Chief Executive Officer, and I have almost a decade of experience with working with BioNanotechnology, as I am a PhD candidate at Vanderbilt University in the Biomedical Engineering Department. Next, there's Andre T. Stevenson. He is our Chief Technology Officer, and like was said earlier, he's actually had his hands on this technology because we've worked together for the last 3 years on all types of different novel techniques, trying to find ways that we can help people. Next, we have Dr. Todd DiGiorgio, and he is our lead scientific advisor, and he is important because he's the chair and professor of biomedical engineering at Vanderbilt University. But that's not it. He's actually the chair of the Council of Chairs of the Biomedical Engineering Society, which is an international society. So what we will do is he will spread our message because of his great reach and breadth to those expertise and engineers and clinicians that will then use our new novel technology. Then to the right, you see our esteemed mentorship. At the top, you've already met Dean Dodato. He has helped us every day working through our business because he himself has taken diagnostics from inception all the way up to fruition in the markets. And he has almost 2 decades of experience working with bringing diagnostic technologies to the market. Even further, we have Dr. Scott McCaig. And he's been helping us with our marketing because he oversees a $150 million knee sector at Wright Medical. Further, we have Buck Brown. He's been helping us with our business operations as he has been giving us a viewpoint into how reimbursement is done. And then we have Kim Strokert, and she's been helping us with our regulatory needs, and she's been guiding us on the steps it takes that's necessary to get the appropriate FDA clearance. Last year, if you went to a clinician and said, what's pre-culture technology? They would say, science fiction. But in April, we actually had this idea, this invention, and then came here to Memphis in May with just a bag of clothes and an idea. And since then, we have had rapid progress. First, we filed 2 provisional patents protecting our idea and our intellectual property. Next, we have actually trademarked the TestQuick brand because we feel that it is a recognizable brand, not only to the patients, but also to our primary consumers, hospital associations. Next, we established our own laboratory where we are doing all of the nanoparticle fabrication and the product development. And we've established this laboratory right here in Memphis. We have also frozen the design on our handheld prototype. We've been working with Ocean Optics Incorporated, and they have agreed to both prototype and manufacture our device pending funding. And then we have had our BioNanotechnology-based diagnostic strategy validated by medical clinicians, biomedical engineers, and molecular biologists. But it doesn't stop there. I am so proud and I am pleased to tell you all for the first time publicly that we have signed decrees of interest from hospital institutions who have taken a look at our technology and say, this technology is truly going to help people. And they have signed interest decrees to participate in an interinstitutional clinical trial on TestQuick technology based on funding and FDA clearance. And these institutions are as follows. First, Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, Methodist University Healthcare System, University of Tennessee Health Science Center, the VA Hospital right across the street, and finally, the Med, the Regional Medical Center. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what we're asking from you is we're asking you to help us take this product development, and give it to the consumers who want it and the patients who need it. And what we're asking you for is $900,000. And with this $900,000, we will accomplish the following milestones in the below timeline. First, we will prototype TestQuick, both the bionanotechnology-based cassette and the handheld reader. And with that prototyping, we will then file the necessary non-provisional patents to protect our technology. And we will complete that with our first Series A round financing of $400,000. And then next, we will file for our FDA 510K Class 2 clearance and also our CE mark. And what's also necessary in order to speed the process through the regulatory is to perform a pilot study. And in order to complete this, we will need a Series B round of an additional $500,000. And then at this point, once we get the FDA clearance, just like our competitors and other technologies, and because we have a truly disruptive technology, once we get through this clearance, we should start to see incoming revenue. Now, when we first got here, I mentioned the bag of clothes, but there's one other thing we did have. We thought, we've got the best thing ever. We built it, now they will come. And that's not the attitude that you come into when you're starting a company. They pounded it in. They said, if you're gonna start a company, you gotta do your customer discovery. So me and Andre, we hit the pavement running, and we tried to meet with as many hospitals and high-level clinicians with the help of our mentorship. And finally, we started hearing from everyone that you need to talk to one person. You need to talk to Dr. Vicky Baselski. She's not just a UT pathology professor. She's not just a lab associate at Methodist. We call her the gatekeeper because everyone said, if you lay out your technology and she says it's legit, we'll do everything we can to help you get this product to the patients. So we quickly set up the meeting and we nervously went in there because if we were gonna fail fast, we were gonna fail fast here. So we went into the meeting and sat down and completely laid out our technology. And in 30 minutes, she looked up at us and she said, you know, I've been waiting for the day that someone would come into my office and tell me that we no longer have to rely on PCR or the amplification of nucleic acids. I've been waiting for the day that someone will come into my office with the pre-culture technology. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we here at BioNanovations have made that day today. I'm Charleston S. Bell, president of BioNanovations Corporation, and I invite you to join us on our quest and our mission, not only to decrease patient morbidity and mortality, but also to join us on our journey to help increase and improve patient outcomes, not just in the United States, but to the entire world. Thank you so much.